Hi, and welcome to the Low Intensity Behavior Techniques video. My name is Sarah Martin, the Student Services TOSA. We're starting off with just a little quote for you to read. Low-intensity strategies are easy to implement, compatible with all ages and content areas. They're classroom-based, they are empowering for teachers, and they increase active engagement among our students. Research suggests students who are low achievers often have low levels of active engagement, even when they appear to be engaged. Therefore, strategies that seek to increase their active engagement have the potential to provide positive impacts on their academic performance. Low-intensity techniques may be provided to students across all three tiers. This video will focus on some Tier 1 techniques for teachers to use in the classroom. What is meant by Tier 1 is that they are techniques meant for all students. They're not specialized or directed at individual students. Rather, they are meant to address the needs of the classroom as a whole. The first technique we're looking at is active supervision, which is a monitoring procedure that uses three components. The three components include moving effectively or circulating among your students, scanning effectively or frequently and intentionally looking at your students, and interacting frequently, meaning while you are moving and scanning, you also interact with your students frequently. According to Missouri SWPBS, research states that active supervision has a positive impact on student behavior in a variety of settings, including the classroom. It may reduce incidents of minor problem behavior while increasing appropriate behavior. It may lead to increases in student engagement, and it allows for encouragement of students using expectations or appropriate behavior. When assessing the effectiveness of active supervision in your classroom, here are a few things to consider. Does the floor plan allow me to move easily among my students? Do my lesson designs consider student grouping, location, and activity level? And do I continually monitor all areas of the room by scanning and interacting with my students? This Missouri SWPBS document that is on your screen now, which includes the teacher self-assessment tool, can be found in the resource links document that accompanies this video. Lastly, an acronym we can use regarding active supervision is SMILE, which stands for scan, move, interact, lead by example, and encourage. The idea of encouragement leads us nicely into our next technique, which is behavior-specific praise statements. Praise is a very simple and feasible tool that you have in your toolbox. It can help promote successful student behaviors in the classroom. The behaviors that you give attention to generally will increase. Therefore, finding ways to provide attention to students when they are using effective classroom behaviors will increase the likelihood they will use them again in the future. Behavior-specific praise is a positive statement directed toward a student or group of students. It describes a desirable behavior in specific, observable, and measurable terms. Behavior-specific praise goes beyond broad generalizations. This page, which gives you examples of behavior-specific praise statements, can also be found in the resource links document that accompanies this video. As an example, the sentence, "Great job lining up, Tanisha," isn't the best behavior-specific praise statement. The sentence, Tanisha, great job lining up quietly, is preferable because it directly recognizes the behavior you're trying to reinforce. This takes us into our next low intensity behavior technique, which is the 4-to-1 praise ratio. PBISmissouri.org states that when working with students of all ages, 4 positive comments to 1 redirection fosters a positive and predictable environment. According to a study performed by Clayton R. Cook and his colleagues, who focused on a 5-to-1 praise ratio, students who effectively receive praise exhibit significantly fewer disruptive behaviors and have a significantly higher academic engagement time period. A video from San Bernardino Unified School District about using 4-to-1 ratios in middle school math class is included on the resources document as well. Next, we're moving on to effective statements. According to restorativeresources.org, effective statements are a way to communicate to another person how they have affected you, either in a positive or negative way. Effective statements can be offered when you see someone doing something that makes you uncomfortable or impacts you in some other way. The statements offer an alternative to comments that are implicitly judgmental or comments that lead to confrontation, argument, or further conflict. They are meant to diffuse a situation and offer a path forward. Effective statements are fairly simple in composition. They're comprised of I feel and the emotion, when, and you identify the behavior, and then you say what you'd like or which action you would prefer. Using the emotion wheel may be beneficial to put a name to the emotion that you're feeling. That is linked in the resource document as well. Effective statements, also referred to as I statements, simply tell the listener how the person feels and why it makes them feel that way. They are an effective way to teach students how to express their emotions appropriately as well. When used with fidelity, they can effectively reinforce positive actions and explain feelings without assigning blame or shame. An example of an effective statement is, I feel frustrated when you interrupt me. I would like you to raise your hand to speak. In this example, I'm using the word frustrated as opposed to a word like anger because it takes the pressure off of the student and lets them know how my emotions are being impacted without causing them any shame. An example of a positive effective statement is, I feel so successful when you complete your assignments on time. In this example, I chose the word successful rather than happy because I feel that it's important for students to know what causes me to have feelings of success, and because I want them to consider how they can attain feelings of personal success as well. Every technique has the goal of providing an inclusive and affirming learning environment for our students. We must intentionally build this environment for them on a daily basis. One way we can do this is by examining our students' behavior and guiding them accordingly. Our goal is to optimize their learning and to intentionally build an inclusive environment. This can be done using the 3 signature practices, which include welcoming activities, engaging practices, and optimistic closures. Resources regarding the 3 signature practices are provided in the SEL video and documents that you have also received. Incorporating the 3 signature practices into your daily lesson planning is an effective low-intensity behavior technique which will foster a welcoming, inclusive, and affirming environment for each student. That concludes the video on low-intensity behavior techniques. Thank you for your time. We do appreciate it. Please remember to complete the Google form that you received with this video.